Hi guys, so my topic today is approaching and trying to prevent mental illnesses, and that was the whole goal of my presentation, but more specifically I kind of found myself focusing more on depression than any other mental illness because that was the one that I saw the most and had the most experience with. So my interest in this topic came when I moved to Saratoga last year. I went to Lynbrook High, which is also another competitive school, but coming to Saratoga, I could see like a bigger prevalence in the competitive environment. It didn't just go from academics, it was like in between friends, which made it even worse. And a lot of my close friends or people that I met had like severe depression or like anxiety and they didn't even know it. Like I could tell some of my friends were like a lot more insecure than normal and they dwelled on a lot of things rather than like focusing on the positives. And I also became borderline depressed myself in the beginning of my senior year. And I didn't know what to do. I was really scared. And I've been like a pretty happy and social person for most of my life. So facing like borderline depression was a little bit scary for me. I talked to my counselor for a few days and she recommended that I go see a therapist. I talked to my parents about it and that was the first time opening up to them about anything like this. I talked to them about it and their first response was, "You don't have depression, like there's no way, and going to a therapist would just make you feel like you do." And at that point I didn't know what to do and I visited the therapist at school instead and I talked to her and she basically diagnosed me and said like, "I think you have depression." And I told my dad and he was like, "Okay, we'll talk to a therapist." And all the therapist did was make my problems seem really important, which kind of made me feel like, yes, I do have depression. But all it really took for me to get over it, I guess, was to become more social and put myself out there again. And just by becoming more social and hanging out with friends more, I no longer felt depressed. So that kind of led me to my topic of like, what is the best way to prevent depression and how do you know that you have it? So my main approach to this topic was I wanted to interview people and ask them like, what would your approach be? Like I interviewed my dad and he said, well, back in India, like if you admit that you have a mental illness, like you're gonna feel like you have it. And if you just go by and ignore the problem, it's gonna go away. And like back in Western society, they say, don't ignore the problem. You need to talk about it. You need to address this issue and get a therapist and take whatever precautions it takes to get over this. And my main area of focus was which way is the right way. Ignoring the problem never sounds like a good idea, but at the same time, I don't have any Indian friends or family who have depression that live in India. When it comes to my Western friends or like Western Indian friends, yeah, like they might experience this and maybe it's because like we address the problem too seriously. So I decided that after interviewing these people, I would tell them my research and tell them what are the best ways to prevent this illness. So after doing a ton of research, I found that about 450 million people globally are mentally ill and only 60% don't get the care that they need. I found that this is way too big of a number, but how do we deal with this? So it's a really serious problem, and I knew the statistics of what was happening, but I didn't know like the correlation of like why it was happening, because we obviously see a lot more of it in America, and we don't hear about much of it in like Asian countries, but it might be prevalent there. So I tried to look for research that told me the correlation between like maybe the way that we're handling it is the worst way or the better way. Maybe the way that Asia is handling it is either worse or better, and there was no evidence saying so. There was no research done on this at all, which kind of was a really big setback for me because after doing these interviews, I couldn't even tell them, oh, this is the right way to prevent illnesses. This is the way you should be doing it. And I couldn't even tell myself or my parents, like, no, you shouldn't ignore the problem, or no, you should ignore it. So that was a huge setback for me, and I kind of realized this is just too new. Like, we've only seen mental illnesses as a big issue, like, recently in the past, like, 50 years. And so we just don't have enough research. I haven't found a single article talking about this side of mental illnesses. So I guess doing this project kind of sparked a passion for me, and I realized I would have to kind of research it myself when I get the chance, which means I do want to go into this field and eventually be able to do research and find the correlation between different cultures and different mental illnesses and seeing how we can prevent them. Thank you.